Waidsum Academy. Today we are looking at the part 5 of trigonometry, application of trigonometry. Okay, the application of trigonometry. Let's take a look at how you apply trigonometry, what kind of formula you use, when you decide to use what formula, and let's look at the conditions that you have around you, if you know, and what you want to know, the things you know and what you want to know, and then you decide which formula you're going to use. Okay, in doing that, we choosing which formula or which rule that we're going to use in deciding a problem. So in deciding a problem, these are the things you need to look at in deciding what formula to use. It is very important to be able to decide which formula to use to solve any particular question. And this is achievable if you start with the known, what you are given, and then what you want to know, or what you are not given that you've been asked to find. You have to itemize them, you have to write them down after you've arranged your formula. Now this table summarizes the possibility. Now if you know two sides, if you are given two sides of a triangle and the angle opposite one of the sides, if you're given two sides and an angle opposite one of the sides is given to you, normally we use the sine rule. So that means they've given you two sides and one angle that is opposite one of the sides. Then the angle opposite the other side is what you want to know. You want to find the angle opposite the other side. Then here we use sine rule. What we are saying, if you are given two sides, for example, if you're given two sides, you know here and you know here, and the angle opposite one of the side is given, but you want to know the angle opposite the other side. Let's say the angle here opposite this side, you want to know it, then you use the sine rule. You use the sine rule. Or if you look at this in whole as one triangle, if you look this one in a whole as one triangle, you see that we know this side, we know this side, and the angle opposite one side, which is 20 BC, which is 20, is given, and we want to know the angle opposite the other side. If you want to know this angle opposite this side, you use the sine rule. We use what? The sine rule. We use the sine rule. Okay, so these are the conditions. Okay, another case, when you have two angles and the side opposite one of the angles, you have two angles, and the side, any side that is opposite one of the angles, you also know it. Then what you want to know is the side opposite the other angle. If you want to do that, you still use sine rule, because here you have two angles and you know one side that is opposite the angles, and you're looking for the other side that is opposite. This is just vice versa with the first condition. You use sine rule. Then the third case, when you know two sides, you know two sides and the angle between them. When you know two sides and the angle between them, and you're looking for the third side, you use the cosine rule. You know two sides and the angle between them, you also know. Okay, let's say you have, for example, you have for example, let's say you have this triangle. Okay, you know, let's say you know this side to be 12 and this side to be 11, and you know the angle between them. Let's say here is 34. You are asked to find the third side. You are asked to look for this place. Let's say this is a ABC, A, B, C. Okay, and you're looking for this side, small b. You want to find what here is. Then you use the cosine rule. Meaning, if you know two sides and the angle between them, and you're looking for the third side, you definitely use the cosine rule. You use the cosine rule. Is that okay? You use the cosine rule. If you know two sides and the angle between them, and you're looking for the third side, you use the cosine rule. Is that okay? Now, if you know all the three sides and any angle, you also use the cosine rule. If you know all the three sides, like in this case, in case of this one, you know the three sides. This side, and this side. You know the three sides, and you are asked to find any of the angle. You also use the cosine rule. You also use the cosine rule. Okay, if you know all the three sides and you're looking for the angle, any of the angle, you use the cosine rule. Okay, so these are two conditions where we use the sine rules and two conditions where we use the cosine rule. And then when you know two sides and the angle between them, the area, and you are looking for the area of the triangle, you know two sides and the angle between them, just like the one we've shown here. You know two sides, you know this side and you know this side, and you know the angle between them. They are not asking you to find this side, they are asking you to calculate the area of the triangle. If they are asking you to calculate the area of this triangle, then you're going to use the area of triangle formula in trigonometry. You're going to use the area of triangle formula in trigonometry. So you're going to use it. So these are the conditions and the formula to use in this topic. Okay, is the triangle right angle triangle? If it's a right angle triangle, then you're going to use SOHCAHTOA. If a triangle that is given to you is a right angle triangle, you know the right angle triangle, angle 90. If it's a right angle triangle, then you're going to use a SOHCAHTOA. If the triangle is not a right angle triangle, then you ask yourself this question: does the question involve any opposite pairs of sides and angles? If no, then does the question involve area? If yes, then you use the area formula. If the question involves area, you use the area formula. If the question does not involve area, you use the cosine rule. If the question does not involve area, they ask you to find the third side. They give you two sides and the angle between them, and they are asking you to find the third side, you use the cosine rule. Okay, now here, if you come here, if the question is not a right angle triangle, you ask yourself, does the question involve any opposite pairs of sides and angle? If yes, you use the sine rule. Okay, if yes, you just use the sine rule. So these are the conditions for the formula to use, and these are the conditions for the area, how to calculate the area. Now, using the cosine rule to find angles. If you want to look for angles, we just go straight. You know, we derived this from the original formula. You remember in one of our classes, we've derived this one from the original formula. If you're looking for cos A, you just say it's equal to b squared plus c squared minus a squared, because you're looking for minus a squared over 2bc over 2bc, this one over 2bc. Okay, this but normally, because we are not looking for cos A, we're actually looking for A. So if you make A the subject and go A, it becomes cos inverse of b squared plus c squared minus a squared over 2bc. So this is how we find this type of angles. Now, using this, let's say we have using the sine rule to find the angles. You have here 34 centimeter, you have here 20 centimeter, you have two sides, and you have here 35. So you can say this over sine 20 over sine 35 is equal to 34 over sine y. So we can find this one first, angle y. Okay, use the sine rule. Use the what? Sine rule. And in doing so, we find angle y to be 77. 20 centimeter over sine 35 is equal to 34 centimeter over sine y, or C2. So we were able to find angle y in that regard. Okay, so after finding angle y, then we have to find angle x, because to find angle x, once we know here, we can find this length, this whole length. Okay, if we find this whole length, then we'll be able, we use any of the other trigonometrical formula we can find there, this side. We already know here, we know here, we know here. Okay, so we can find this one. Okay, we're going to show this if possible quickly. Okay, this is the first example. This is the first example. Here we are given A, B, C. You have the value of A, C, which is 4.4 centimeter, A, B, which is 7.4, and B, C, which is 4.8 centimeter. So here we are asked to find angle ABC, meaning angle B. When they ask you to find the size of angle ABC, they're talking about the one in the middle, which is angle B. In finding angle B, you're going to use the cosine formula. Okay, let's take a look at this quickly. Okay, A, B, C. A, B, C. Our board is so slippery. I don't know why today it's kind of messing us up. Okay, ABC. So let's say here's our ABC. We'll be given here at 4.4 centimeter, and we have here this is 7.4. We have the value of this one, 7.4 centimeter, 4.8, 7.4 and 4.8. Here is 7.4 centimeter. And here is 4.8. So we've been asked to find angle ABC. So when they say find angle ABC, they're actually talking about the one in the middle, the angle in the middle, which is angle B. Find angle. I put sign of angle on top so that you know we are asking you to find angle. Angle ABC is the one in the middle, which is angle B. So you're looking for angle B, this angle. So you're looking for angle B, we use the cosine. You know, once you know the three sides, you go to use cosine rule. Once you know the three sides, you're looking for any of the angle, you use the cosine rule, which is B. Okay, this angle B is equal to cos inverse, is equal to cos inverse, cos raised to power minus 1. That's the meaning of cos inverse. Is equal to the cos inverse of this square. Okay, here is our small b. The side facing the big B is our small b, right? And then the side facing the big A, 4.8, is our small a. The side facing the small big C is small c here, 4.8. So in using cosine rule, we write this is equal to, since we are looking for b, it will be equal to a square plus c square plus c square minus b square, small b square, over 2ac, over 2ac. This is the cosine rule you're going to use. Okay, you know cosine rule, we made this subject of formula last time, how to make this one. Okay, so we substitute it to this formula. We substitute. What is, you say b is equal to cos inverse, is equal to cos inverse. Okay, you can put your bracket, your big bracket. A square, what's the value of A? Our A is 4.8, right? So we say 4.8. A is 4.8, we say 4.8 square. 4.8 square plus, what's the value of our C square? C square is 7.4. C is 7.4, so we write 7.4 square. 7.4 square minus, what's the value of our B? Our B is small b, 4.4. So minus 4.4 square all over 2 times A. The value of A is 4.8 times the value of C times the value of C, which is the value of C, which is 7.4. 7.4 okay, we close the bracket. So if you key all this one into calculator and you find the cos inverse, 4.8 square plus 7.4 square minus 4.4 square all over 2 times 4.8 times 7.4, and the cos inverse of this value, you get this angle, the value of the angle B. You get the value of angle B, or ABC, you get 34.7 to 1 decimal place, 34.7 to 1 decimal place. So we get
our B. We get our B. We get our B to be 34, to be equal to 34.7 degree, 34.7 degree. This is the value of angle B. This is the value of angle B using cosine. So with this, we come to the end of our today's class. Thank you very much for joining.